Let's check in with Pat Pagano and tells us what's changed in the past month. Well, we're in a new month, Pat, and we have light snow out here this morning.
Well, there's your first change.
And actually, it's a pretty big blob of light snow because it goes all the way from us down to Paulding, New York. It's not a lot, but some schools are calling for a 2-hour delay. I guess it must be a light snowing and pack down and become icy. I don't know.
Well, it's just about over.
Okay.
I'm looking at the radar as we speak right now. If you draw a line from Kingston, from Kingston, good old Kingston, Kingston down to White Plains. Yep. That's the back edge of it, and it's moving eastward.
How fast is it moving?
Yeah, I was very reluctant to put any snow in the forecast for this morning because when I came into the weather center at 2:30 this morning, it was snowing over us, and it was snowing all across northern New Jersey and the lower Hudson Valley. And guess what? Nobody was seeing it. And the reason for it was so dry, it was evaporating.
Yeah.
So I look at all my computer models, and my computer models show a very thin layer of moisture over us, but, they don't grind out any precip at all. And I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe some flurries, but I'm not going for anything more than that. I'm just going to leave it as it is because I think the majority of today is going to be partly cloudy.
Okay.
If you take out, and again, right now we're at 6:51.
Yep.
I would say let's be we'll say by 8 o'clock, it's gone across the entire region. So 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 p.m. is the greater part of your day, most of which will be dry and partly cloudy with a high between 35 and 40. Now, that is storm number 1 off the New Jersey coast. We have storm number 2 that will move across Virginia tonight, get off the coast, and head toward Cape Cod during the day tomorrow. So snow comes in late tonight, after midnight toward morning. We're in the upper 20s. And now, as Marshall said, we're making changes. We're making more changes. Cloudy Saturday with periods of snow. We take out the light. And I'm going to add another phrase after that.
Yeah.
Could become heavy at times tomorrow. And it would not surprise me tomorrow to get 2 to 4 inches. I did not put it in the forecast yet, but that's my thinking. Highs, maybe 35. Okay, so that storm goes out tomorrow night. Sunday comes a third storm through the Carolinas, off the Virginia coast, and again toward Cape Cod. Here's the trick. Storm number 2 tomorrow. If it intensifies a little bit when it gets to Nova Scotia tomorrow night, it will allow, for the sake of not using big words, the cold ribbon to move southeast. And that means that the next storm that moves across North Carolina on Sunday will be a little further off the coast. And if that is the case, it's an all-snow situation again. Late Sunday into early Monday. And snow heavy at times again. If the second storm tomorrow gets to Nova Scotia and is extremely weak, then the third storm is going to track a little closer to the coast, and that could mean that we'll have to introduce a wintry mix Sunday night into the whole mix. So I'm thinking that when all is said and done, and we're talking about from tonight into Monday, our listening area will easily see over 6 inches of snow.
And what you're saying is over 6 inches because you can't give it a high end and a low end simply because of the possibility of the mixture of mixed precipitation.
Yes, and I have noticed, Marshall. I looked at I've been scrutinizing these models like a fine-tooth comb. Most of the modeling that came out overnight into this morning has trended further south and east with the third storm. I mean, usually if it's just one storm we have to watch, we just zoom in on that. But of course we have tomorrow's storm and then Sunday's storm. And you know, whatever happens, I may see you Monday morning, I may not. It all depends on what happens to the storm and Pat as he tries to get off of that God-unforsaken Long Island
Yeah, I
on
mean,
Sunday.
it's so basically what we're telling people is this is more, and we've talked about this word, and people should get used to it. This is more of a nowcast situation, actually,
Yeah, yeah.
where
Even this morning,
you
yeah, you're right. Even this morning is a nowcast because you're right, Marshall, because what I said earlier, the snow that's over us now will be gone by 8, and then from 8 to 6 p.m., it'll be partly cloudy. That's what we call nowcasting.
yeah,
Very good, Marshall.
simply.
See, Marshall, you could probably sit in this seat. You know that.
I always wanted to be a meteorologist, but you know what?
Well,
It was too much damn
if
technical
butts
stuff
and
that you
hands,
had.
right?
Too much like mathematical stuff that you had to learn.
Well, you do have to do that. Yeah,
And
you're
and
right.
I hate mathematics. I hate it. I mean, yeah, can I add and subtract and multiply and divide? Yes, but that's where it ends. I really did want to be a meteorologist. I always loved looking at the weather where I lived, and seeing where thunderstorms always came from, the worst ones, and things like that. So yeah, I wanted to be a weather geek, but it wasn't to be. I'm a radio geek.
Yeah, and I'm both. And I have to tell you that there was an article that I found very interesting. One of my radio stations sent it to me. An article, one of the more popular weather services, I'm not going to name them, came out with a prediction that there'll be, I don't know the exact number, 1,085 tornadoes this spring. And the writer of the article says, enough is enough here. We know what the normal is during the springtime in the United States, which is like, I don't know, 850. He said, if you're going to come out and you're going to predict a specific number, 1,085, whatever it is, tell people how you derived at that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He said, I find that, he said, weather people, and he didn't, go into specifics.
Yeah.
He said, are often doing things like this to get
Attention.
publicity.
That's right.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, let's face it, Marshall. I don't know anybody in their right mind that can predict how many tornadoes are going to occur over the United States in the spring season.
You can't predict when a tornado is going to occur. I mean,
And now you're going to predict how many.
yeah, I mean, and then
Right.
I mean, as it is, I mean, yes, you put up when situations are really ripe for a tornado, and you put those warnings out, and so as a weather person, okay, there's really, but you can't predict how many tornadoes. That's ludicrous. It's just
It is ludicrous. You know what, Marshall, the way you do that is you say the average amount of tornadoes per year or in spring in the United States is 850. Based upon what we see now, there's a chance that the activity could be above normal this coming spring. And leave it at that.
That's,
You know,
yeah,
or below normal. And leave it at that based on trends. So listen, this forecast for the winter, I mean, I said mix, 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 mix. It worked out great. As far as the different oscillations that were concerned, and we got the cold weather when we expected. We did. I mean, and it is here, and there is another good surge coming next week. We are going to be pretty darn cold next week. We didn't expect the barrage of bad weather on the West Coast, like they're getting. The flooding, the evacuation, the mudslides. I mean, the Sierra Nevada, I mean, they must have over 25 feet of snow. So that was not expected. So it only goes to show you, you can't predict long range.
all right. So now, once again, recap real quick. Today, just light snow.
This
and-
is going to be gone within the hour.
and then
Okay?
and
That
then
we have snow coming in late tonight through tomorrow. That could become heavy at times.
So
That
that-
moves out tomorrow night.
that could be like another 3-4 inches.
Right.
Okay.
And then on Sunday, late Sunday or Sunday night into early Monday, another storm that could bring potential of heavy snow.
God bless the USA. Pat, have a good weekend. Be safe.
I hope to see you Monday.
I hope to see you Monday. If not, we'll speak to you Tuesday.
You got it.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Pat Pagano this morning in the Weather Center with the horrible news.